Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Night Ghost Stories Extra, because we are on a Wednesday. Oh, my goodness me. We're having a double bill this week because we had St. Patrick's Day Ghost Stories last night, where we imbibed of some Guinness and also some of this lovely Ballycastle, it's Ballynice Ballycastle chocolate liqueur. What are we reading tonight? And we read some Irish ghost stories as well. What are we reading tonight? We are back on the Haunted Places of Scotland, which is brilliant. Absolutely fabulous stuff. What are we drinking tonight? We are having one of the subscription beers. This one's by Iron Peer, and it's called, I like this, Keller Queen, reference to a Queen song from 50 years ago. 50 years ago, a Germanic style lager beer. Keller Queen, soft hop character with balanced bitterness for maximum drinkability. Biscuity dry malt character, art by Duncan Grant. https duncangrant.artist.com. Iron Peer Brewery, Northfleet, DA11 8RU, which I think is up north somewhere. Ingredients: water, malted barley, malted wheat, hops, and yeast. Allergens include glutens, shown in bold. Store cold, drink fresh, gluten free. Allergens including gluten, shown in bold, but it's gluten free. I don't get that. Anyway, 4.4%, so not bad. Very nice artwork. Iron Peer, I do like that. That's very, very nicely done. This is what I like about these subscription beers. And I like their logo as well. Iron Peer. I'm trying to think where a DA logo, DA postcode is. I'm sure that's Darlington. Let's have a look. DA postcode. DA postcode is Dartford, so it's northwest Kent and southeast London, in it. Right, and so that's what we're having. What are we washing it down with? Kelsoprees, the Western Gold, which I've got to say is possibly my new favourite liqueur. And we've got plenty of snacks here tonight. We've got some more rice cakes, yum, yum, yum. And like I say, we're reading The Haunted Places of Scotland, which is brilliant. So we are going to catch up, and we've got a 2-reg adventure to talk about at half-time, which was excellent today. So let's play catch up on last time. Kilspindie Castle. Nothing remains of Kilspindie Castle, an ancient stronghold which was completely demolished in 1840. William Wallace and his mother are supposed to have taken refuge here, according to a poem by Blind Harry. Much later, the castle was a property of the Lindsays. Turns page, eventually. Bear with. There is a tale of a white lady haunting Kilspindie, as well as legends of a green serpent. Right, I think it's time for a beer. How exciting. Slange. That is very Moorish. Goodness me. That is delicious. Biscuity, yeah, a little bit. It hasn't got a bitterness to it, which I know it's not a bitter, but you know what I mean. It's not. I'm just going to see what it read again. Biscuity dry malt character. I'd agree with that. What I'd also agree with is the fact that we're only 6 minutes into the show and we have a dead soldier. And run VT.
Oh, it's jolly nice of you. Hello, dead soldier. Seen plenty of those in my time.
Indeed. Kimberley Hotel, Oban. On the site of an older house, the fine baronial mansion was built in 1885 by the Cowan family, who had been pioneers in diamond mining. The name of the mansion comes from Kimberley in South Africa, and after use as a maternity hospital, the building is now a hotel. The hotel is said to be haunted by a grey lady, a friendly ghost, although there is no story as to her origin. Several sightings have been reported, including in recent times. Several sightings have been reported, including in recent times, as have disembodied voices. Hotel telephone number, website. Time for another beer, I think. We're on a 2-beer strategy tonight, so cheers me beers. Oh, lovely. Kincardine, not Kim Kardashian, Kincardine Community Centre. The community centre is housed in an old church building dating from the 19th century, which was converted to use as a school early in the 20th century. In the 1980s, the building was renovated for community use. Jolly good. The community centre is said to be haunted. Reports of strange occurrences, including half-seen apparitions flitting around corridors, unexplained noises and voices, a clock repeatedly falling from a wall without explanation, and a piano playing by itself when nobody was near it. The activity is not said to be malicious. A paranormal investigation was undertaken by Paranormal Encounters Group. Website address doesn't say when, but no. Anyway, what are we up to? 8 minutes. Yeah, it's too early for a bump. Got to ration ourselves. Cheers, me beers. Oh, lovely. Kindrocket Castle. Little remains of a once strong castle, for many years held by the Drummonds. The place was reputedly destroyed by cannon in the 17th century after the plague had struck, so that the occupants could not escape. The story goes that after the Jacobite Rising of 1745 to 46, a way into the old vaults was found. A Hanoverian soldier was lowered in, hoping to find treasure, but fled when he found a phantom party seated around a table piled with skulls. Later excavations failed to find the ghostly company or any skulls, but the exquisite Kindrocket brooch was unearthed and the walls were traced. Access at all reasonable times, it says here. Oh, I think we've got some fan mail. Let's just have a quick read of the fan mail. No. Oh, hang about. Who's the fan mail? It's from friend Tara. I'm just going to check the weather forecast for tomorrow. What's the weather forecast tomorrow going to be? Please be sunny. Please be sunny. Please be sunny. Oh my goodness me. It looks like we're in for a fine run of weather. Bear with, folks. I really shouldn't text whilst I'm doing a live broadcast. Wouldn't look good if I nearly said Hugh Edwards. Goodness me, no, we can't talk about him. I'm trying to think who we can say as a BBC newsreader. I can't think of any at the moment. Moira Stewart. Let's imagine Moira Stewart was, when Moira Stewart was in her prime, in the middle of a news story, texting. Wouldn't do. God, I dread to think what Hugh Edwards would be sending on his phone. Let's not talk about that, shall we? Anyway, King Kelsey, pronounced Kin Kelsey. King Kelsey, a modern mansion, incorporates a 16th century tower house of the Irvins of Kin Kelsey and is still owned by the same family. The house is said to be haunted by the ghost of a 2-year-old child. James Turner Christie, the infant, fell down the stairs from his nanny's arms and was killed. The pattering of a child's footsteps have reputedly been heard several times when there is nobody about rather. The Chinese room is also said to be haunted, and the bedclothes are said to have been violently flung off one of the occupants. Nothing worse than getting violently flung off in the middle of the night, but anyway, let's have a beer, shall we? Oh, I need to hoover the floor here. We've knocked the bin over, that's why. Cheers, me beers, or cheers, my beer lagers. Cheers, me beer lagers. Right. Let's turn a couple of pages. Turn the page. A very fine song by my favourite band, which is Rush. So there we go. Off their 1987 album, Hold Your Fire. Anyway, I want to talk about that another time. Kinghorn Castle. There was an ancient royal stronghold in Kinghorn dating from the 12th century, but nothing of it now remains. It was at the castle that Yolande de Dreux, the young and beautiful wife of Alexander III, awaited him one stormy night in 1286. Alexander had been in Edinburgh, but he decided, although the weather was stormy, to make the hazardous trip across the Firth at Queensferry and then along the coast to Kinghorn. But Alexander got separated from his entourage and he fell, along with his horse, from cliffs close to the castle and was killed. A monument marks the spot where his broken body was found. It is said that the ghost of Yolande, a grey lady, It is said that the ghost of Yolande, a grey lady, has been seen in the area of the castle and also in the King's Wood. Also see that entry. Still searching for him, although she has also been described as a green lady. In truth, Yolande did not die until 1330, which is 1:30, when she was well into her 60s, and only after she had remarried and had at least 6 children with the Duke of Brittany. Oh, know what their hobbies were. The property passed to Sir John Lyon of Glamis, Chancellor of Scotland, towards the end of the 14th century, a descendant of whom was made Earl of Kinghorn, with an E at the end, in 1606. Oh, they keep it in the family, don't they? I mean, I don't mean in that sense, but power begets power. I did not come here for electron communism. I have, though. Anyway, cheers, me beers. It's time for a bump, so slange. Oh, lovely. Oh, I wish my friend Drew was up here because he would love this. Western Gold honey. It is delicious. Only 1% honey in it, though. But anyway, King House Hotel, Balquhidder. The popular hotel stands in a pretty spot near the village of Balquhidder, the burial place of Rob Roy MacGregor. King House is the site of a hunting lodge of the monarchs of Scotland, and the present building is believed to date from the 16th century and to have been used by James VI. The hotel stands on the route of a military road and was used to accommodate soldiers when the route was being constructed in 1799. It was commissioned as King's House. I'll read that again. Misread that completely. The hotel stands on the route of a military road and was used to accommodate soldiers when the route was being constructed. Full stop. In 1799, it was commissioned as a King's House. hence the name, with 6 government troops providing escorts for cattle drovers and travellers. The building is said to be haunted. I should hope so. It's in a book about haunted places of Scotland. I think it. You wouldn't do this. You wouldn't describe all that and then say, "Oh, but it isn't haunted." If it's not haunted, what's it doing in this book? Anyway, hotel and holiday cottages, telephone number, website. What do you do on Wednesday night? I watched a confused man from Dudley with holes in his head rant about nonsense. Was it Sunday Night Ghost? Yes, it was Sunday Night Ghost Stories Extra. Right, there we go then. Oh, lovely. Slange. Oh, brilliant. Kingswood Hotel, Kinghorn. The Kingswood Hotel, which dates from around 1850, which is 10 minutes to 7, was originally built as a country residence by the Johnstones, who were plantation owners from Jamaica. The building is now a hotel. At one time, a young girl reported being harassed by ghostly manifestations, including something pinching her bottom. She also said she had seen the apparition of a woman in a white flowing dress. There are also stories of a grey lady being seen in the area in the 1960s, particularly around the main road and at a bus stop on the opposite side of the road from the hotel. One motorist reported having to brake sharply to avoid the apparition. It is also said that the ghost got onto a bus and went upstairs, although a subsequent search of the vehicle could find no passengers. It is reputed that the apparition was seen often. The monument, which marks where Alexander III fell from his horse to his death, is near the hotel, and some stories have his young wife, Yolande de Drew, as the ghost which haunts the area, but also see Kinghorn Castle. Another version is that this is the spirit of a woman who once lived in a cottage behind the Kingswood Hotel. She hanged herself from a tree on the Kinghorn Road. Hotel, telephone number, website. So I'm just confused. Okay, yeah, Alexander III. Yeah, okay, we had read that one. Memories just shoot out of my head they fall out of my head like nothing. So anyway, cheers, me bit. I mean, this is the thing, is that my short-term memory is shocking, but my long-term memory, yeah, pretty good. So he said modestly. King's Arms Hotel, Dumfries. Standing near the junction of English Street with the High Street, the King's Arms Hotel was allegedly haunted by the ghost of a young woman in Victorian garb, a grey lady. The story goes that she was the widow of Captain Robert Stewart, who was killed during the French Revolution in the 18th century, and that she died of a broken heart at the age of only 24. The hotel was demolished many years ago, and the site is occupied by shops, although there was a report in 1996 of ghostly activity in one of the shops adjacent to the site. Doesn't give us any more than that. Anyway, Slange Mivar in the magnificent Rush beer glass from viewers Kirsten and Steve in the United States. God bless the pair of you. Thank you so much for this beer glass. Brings me so much pleasure. Oh, bump time. King's Arms Hotel, Lockerbie. frequented by many famous Scots, including Bonnie Prince Charlie and Sir Walter Scott. The King's Arms Hotel is believed to be one of the longest established hostelries in Lockerbie, dating as it does from the 17th century. The building is reputed to be haunted. Manifestations are reported to include strange smells noticed in some areas of the hotel, the odour of rosewater or lavender or antiseptic. Read that again. Manifestations are reported to include strange smells noticed in some areas of the hotel, the odour of rosewater or lavender or antiseptic. In some of the guest bedrooms, there have also been several instances of items being found wet without explanation, such as a pillow, beds, and a duvet. And guests reported that the taps in their bathroom, both sink and bath, came on by themselves late at night. On another occasion, someone cleaning the room had a similar experience. A guest reported hearing banging, as if a window was being repeatedly opened and closed in the adjoining room. But the chamber was not occupied at the time. A couple about to be married woke up and found that the bride's dress had been taken out of the wardrobe and its protective bag and had been thrown on the floor. Other manifestations have also been recorded, including a wooden spoon moving by itself in the kitchen, half-seen apparitions, and a guest reporting that, on waking, they had seen the phantom of a woman in a crinoline dress. Hotel telephone number, website. A paranormal investigation was undertaken in January 2006 by Scottish Paranormal Investigations. Website address. 2000. How can 2006 be 20 years ago? To me, it still feels like the future. I don't get that. Was there something I was gonna? Yeah, Lockerbie. I'll just a very quick story about Lockerbie is that back in December. All the beer burps at 24 minutes and 36 seconds. I do apologise. Back in December 1988, I went to the Theatre Royal in Bristol with my girlfriend at the time, Julie, and we went to see a production of The Three Musketeers starring Jason Connery. And I didn't drive at the time. And when my father came to pick us up afterwards, he informed us there'd been a plane crash in Scotland, Lockerbie, and what unfurled over the next few hours, few days, obviously the downing of the Maid of the Seven Seas, and the terrorist outrage that was Lockerbie. So that was very grim, and that's a very strong memory with me. So right, let's crack on, shall we? I don't mean that dismissively, but King's Arms Hotel, Dumfries. Oh no, we read that one. Kinnaird Castle, located in 1,300 acres of walled parkland. Kinnaird, an impressive, if glowering, 19th century mansion, incorporates part of an ancient castle. Kinnaird has been a property of the Carnegie Earls of South Esk family. Read that again. Kinnaird has been a property of the Carnegie Earls of South Esk family for more than 600 years, and they still live here. One story connected with the castle is that the corpse of James Carnegie, the second Earl of South Esk, who died in 1669, was reportedly taken by a ghostly black coach driven by black horses. Carnegie is said to have studied in Padua, where he allegedly learnt black magic, and to have lost his shadow to the devil. A similar story is told of Alexander Skene of Skene House. Also see that entry. More prosaically, Carnegie was made sheriff of Forfarshire after the restoration in 1660. He appears to be another victim of Covenanter vilification. Accommodation available, telephone number, website. Now, I've got something stuck in my thumb. That's better-ish. What are we coming up to? 27 minutes. Right, we'll try and ration the rest of this beer until half time. Slange me var. Kinnaird Head Castle. In an open location by the sea, Kinnaird Head Castle consists of an altered, massive 15th century keep, the walls of which are harled and whitewashed. The wine tower, standing about 50 yards away, is a lower tower, now of 3 stories, all of them vaulted. It is said to have been so called as it was used as a wine cellar for the main castle, and probably its predecessor. This was a property of the Frasers of Phil Orth. Sir Alexander Fraser built the harbour at Fraserburgh. The town was originally called Faithlee and came near to bankrupting himself and had to sell much of his property in 1611, which is just gone 10 minutes past 4. A lighthouse was built into the top of the castle in 1787, and the outbuildings were built around it in 1820 by Robert Stevenson, grandfather of Robert Louis Stevenson. It now forms part of a lighthouse museum. Telephone number, website address. Telephone number, www.lighthousemuseum.org.uk. Sir Alexander is said to Right, it's a typo here. It's got Sir Alexander is said to disapproved of his daughter Isabel's lover. I think that is said to have disapproved, or is said to disapprove of his daughter Isabel's lover. Anyway, we'll read it how I think it should have been. Sir Alexander is said to have disapproved of his daughter Isabel's lover, and had the poor man chained in a sea cave below the wine tower to teach him a lesson. Fraser miscalculated, however, and the poor man drowned. When Isabel found her dead lover, she threw herself to her death in the water, or cast herself from the top of the wine tower. An apparition is said to be seen by the wine tower whenever there is a storm, the desperate phantom of Isabel still searching for her sweetheart. In another version, Isabel's lover is alleged to have been a piper, and it is said at times his pipes can still be heard skirling up from the cave. Kinnaird Head Castle is also alleged to be haunted, visitors reporting that they felt as if they were being watched and also experiencing sudden drops in temperature. There are also stories of footsteps being heard coming from unoccupied areas, and the apparition of what appears to be a fisherwoman being spotted here. Historical Scotland, open all year, daily except closed 25th and 26th of December and the 1st and 2nd of January. Telephone number, website address. Website address. I'm not going to read it out. Well, actually, we are going to read it out. www.lighthousemuseum.org.uk. Oh, sorry, and then www.historic-scotland.gov.uk. Cheers, me beers. Oh, lovely. Slange. Delicious. Right. We is Gert hungry, so we're going to have a rice cake. I'm going to pour another beer, and then I'll tell you about the 2 Reg adventure today. So using the magnificent Rush bottle opener, again from viewers Kirsten and Steve in the United States. God bless the pair of you. This is Aldi's chocolate stout. I'm just pouring half a glass here. Aldi's chocolate stout, smooth and indulgent, brewed in the UK in partnership with Hall and Woodhouse, the well-known 80s pop duo. A rich, indulgent stout featuring luxurious chocolate flavours, balanced by notes of roasted malt. 5%. That's all it says. Just says ingredients. Don't think it even gives us the ingredients. Contains barley and sulfates. May also contain wheat. And that's all it says. Yeah. Vegan friendly. Recycle. Yeah, we do. No, that's it. That's your lot. That's all they have to say for it. So we're also going to have tonight, as part of these snacks, the Lidl wasabi mix. Oh my goodness me, this is awesome stuff. So on Wednesday, and a Wednesday means it's a 2 Reg walk. So I'm just calling up the 2 Reg walk here. Come on, Facebook. Oh, for goodness sake. So 2 Reg walk. It was Reg's choice of venue today, and it was my shout, re the Vittles. So Reg decided we would do one that we did a few weeks ago, which was Kongsbury to Sandford. No, not the Hot Fuzz Sandford, Sandford on the Strawberry line. So I thought, yeah, that will do for me today. So we set off from Kongsbury. There we are at the remnants of Kongsbury Station. And then we set off. That gives you a very good idea of what the path is like. And this is an old railway line, so it is massively straight in great big sections of it. So absolutely fabulous today. The weather was perfect. It was about, I think it was about 17 or 18 degrees. Absolutely beautiful weather. And then we finally got to Sandford, not Sanford, not the one from Hot Fuzz. Although, ironically, Sanford from Hot Fuzz was filmed in Wells, which is literally down the road. Anyway, there we are. Thatcher's Railway Inn, Thatcher's Cider, very, very good. And here is some of the displays here. These are some of the apples. These are apples that are used by Thatcher's in the production of this cider. Absolutely brilliant. I love stuff like this. It just puts me deep into history. And there we are at the Railway Inn. I mean, we had tea. Reg is enjoying a Coke there. I'm having a second pot of tea. And then on the way back, we cut through Thatcher's Cider, which is brilliant. That's one of the big vats that they've got there. Fascinating place, it really is. And oh, that was interesting. That was a tree where a huge section of limb had obviously rotted off and been lost, but the tree survives. And that rotted section, as Reg said, is probably very good for wildlife. So as you can see, you'd think this tree would die. Nope, it's still carrying on. So isn't nature brilliant? And then we stopped off at Lidl, where we got some shopping, and I lent Reg one of my shopping bags, which he was delighted to use. And yeah, and then once we'd had a cup of tea at Reg's, I then detoured out along the seafront so that I could have a slice of Clevedon Pier and the sun dipping on the horizon. Oh my goodness me, ladies and gentlemen, I am so lucky to live right on top of this. I mean, okay, I live in the next town over, but I'm a life member of Clevedon Pier. Thank you to viewer Simon for making me join that. But no, Clevedon, I adore Clevedon. So it was a brilliant walk today. The weather was perfect. Oh, there's another sunset shot on Clevedon seafront. Oh my goodness me, it's beautiful there. So there we go. That was today's walk. 6.73 miles from Congsbury to Sandford. I'm going to have a bit more of the the beer burps again. I'm going to have another bit of rice cake. Oh, 19,700 steps, 1,100 calories. So compared to what I'm about to eat today, I should be in a deficit, quite frankly. So cheers me beers. But absolutely brilliant. Really, really fabulous walk today. One of our favourite walks. It was Reg's choice of venue today, and it's my choice of. It was Reg's choice of venue today, and it was my shout in terms of the victuals. As we were walking out, I noticed the sign that said smoking area, and well, it could refer to my arse, quite frankly, but he said modestly. And then that's me gurning at Clevedon seafront. Oh my goodness me. Honest to goodness, if I didn't live on top of it, I would travel to visit the place, but I live on top of it. Aren't I lucky? As Rush, there we go, as Rush put it, thrilled to be alive. And absolutely, given everything that I've been through in the last 3 years, and Reg with his Hodgkin's lymphoma, we both thrill to be alive. So cheers me beers. And we're going to have some more wasabi mix as well. Fingers crossed, I will be finishing off a work project tomorrow, which is incredibly complex, but we will get it over the finish line. So I'm going to have some more of the wasabi mix because, as I said to friend Faye yesterday, the great thing about this River Coach range of wasabi mix rice snacks, ideal for sharing, is that we do like our wasabi beans from the Chinese supermarket opposite Lidl in Bristol, but we can get these at Lidl. So bear with, I'm just messaging I'm going to have to do a wasabi mix photograph for friend Faye. I'm going to have to have some more wasabi mix as well. So delicious. Oh, lovely. Right. In case you're wondering, His Royal Dirtness is in the next room, asleep on the storage locker. So we're done with these 2 pages. Right, let's crack on with the final quarter of the show. Kinneil House. Set in a public park, Kinneil House. Set in a public park, Kinneil House, dating from the 16th century, is a fine old mansion with original paintings in 2 of the rooms. The lands were long held by the Hamiltons. John Hamilton, 4th Earl of Arran, was governor for Mary, Queen of Scots, until 1554, which is 6 minutes to 4 rather, and then led her party until 1573. He built a large tower here. As a result, the house was sacked and part blown up with gunpowder, but it was later rebuilt. The building was occupied by Cromwell's forces in 1650, from when the ghost story is said to originate. The house and the policies around it are said to be haunted by a white lady garbed in a white nightdress, the ghost of Alice, Lady Lilburne, the young wife of a Cromwellian colonel billeted here in the 1650s, or, according to another version of the tale, the mistress of the Duke of Hamilton. If the latter is the case, she cannot have been a contented lass, as the first Duke was executed in 1649 by Cromwell, and the second Duke died at the Battle of Worcester 2 years later. After having tried to escape repeatedly without success, Ali was locked in one of the upper chambers with no hope of release. She finally despaired and cast herself from the window into the Gill Burn some 200 foot below, or into the sea, which would be some feat even for a supernatural entity, as the sea is some distance away. Her forlorn screams and weeping are said still to be heard on dark winter nights, and her spectre is reputed to be seen haunting the spot in the glen where she died. An account from the 19th century also reports that her ghost was seen at the place from where she had jumped, and that the house was plagued by unexplained heavy footfalls, as if the bogle was wearing boots, heard stomping about the stairs, corridors, and chambers. Historic Scotland. Access at all reasonable times. View from exterior. Telephone number. Website. Oh, we're going to have some more wasabi mix snacks. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness me, those were almost pure wasabi peanuts. They were really quite spicy. They really do take your sinuses by surprise, but cheers, me beers. Uh-oh, here we go. For the second time tonight, it's Dead Soldier time and Run VT.
Oh, it's jolly nice of you. Hello, Dead Soldier. Seen plenty of those in my time.
Oh, I love Nigel Patrick's acting in that. It's just brilliant. Right. Oh, we have run out of the honey gold, Western gold rather. In the magnificent United Federation of Planets shot glass from Star Trek The Motion Picture in 1979, from viewers Kirsten and Steve in the United States, God bless the pair of you. Oh, lovely. Kirk of Shots. There we go. Wasn't that good? Beautifully seamless. I mentioned Star Trek The Motion Picture, and the next story is Kirk of Shots. Couldn't have made it up. The present Kirk of Shots dates from the 1820s and is still the parish church. And this replaced an earlier building of 1450 or earlier. I think we established it's earlier, which was dedicated to St. Catherine of Siena. There is a spring known as Kate's Well near the present church. The road that runs past the church, Cant Hill Road, is said to be the scene of several sightings of an apparition, dressed in a dark cape and with a carriage hat. On one occasion, it is claimed, the phantom stepped out in front of a car, apparently went over the roof and then got back on its feet and vanished, greatly discomforting the driver. The phantom had apparently been witnessed on several other occasions, another driver having to swerve to miss the ghost, and pedestrians are also alleged to have seen the bogle. One story is that the spirit is that of William Smith, a Covenator who is buried in the graveyard. His memorial reads, "Here lies the bones of William Smith, who died in Morwellen, and who with others fought at Pentland Hills in defence of Scotland's Covenant in 1666, and was murdered on his return home near to this place." Don't know what accent that was, but anyway. The burial ground is also said to have a grey lady, reputedly witnessed on more than one occasion and blamed for blurred grey streaks, which appeared in photographs being taken for a church calendar. Information, but that's it. Goodness me, we really are in Kirk territory here. What are we up to? 50 minutes. Yeah, I think we'll have some more wasabi mix. Let's scorch our palate with some more wasabi mix. So these are all the coated peanuts. So I think we'll have a rice snack. Another rice snack. Another. I will confess to you, ladies and gentlemen, I is girt hungry. Oh my goodness me. I mean, I've done nearly 7 miles of walking today with Reg. Only thing I've eaten pretty much all day was a banana this morning and some peanuts at lunchtime. So after, how many calories did we burn up today? 1,100? 1,100 calories. I think I'm owed some calories, quite frankly. So, strange. All that Aldi chocolate stout. Absolutely beautiful stuff. Cheers, me beers. Right, let's crack on. Kirk of St. Nicholas, Aberdeen. The Mither Kirk of Aberdeen, the church, dates from the 12th century, and read that again. The Mither Kirk, Kirk of St. Nicholas, Aberdeen. The Mither Kirk of Aberdeen, the church dates from the 12th century, and there has been a church here from early times. The church was divided in two after the Reformation, then largely rebuilt. The East Kirk dates from 1752, which is 8 minutes to 6. The West from 1830s, should be the 1830s. While the central While the central tower and spire are from later in the 19th century, built after a fire destroyed the old belfry. The congregations were united in 1980. St. Mary's Chapel in the crypt survives from the 15th century church, and Sir John Gordon, executed after the Battle of Corrickey in 1562, is interred here. There is also a fine 17th century embroidery. The adjoining graveyard has many table tombs and memorials dating from as early as the 16th century. The area has a reputation for being haunted. In 1982, two men witnessed the apparition of a woman garbed in a long white dress and veil. Let's try it again. In 1982, two men witnessed the apparition of a woman garbed in a long white dress and veil. She was said to have black hair and to have disappeared at the corner of the church. Open May to September, Monday to Friday, other times by appointment. Kirkyard open all year, daily. Telephone number, website. More wasabi mix, I think. We've got a lot of the we have got a lot of the wasabi coated peanuts. These are really quite hot, but delicious. Slange, everybody. Oh, lovely. Kirk O'Field, Edinburgh. This is the site of the house where Henry Stuart, Lord Darnley, second husband of Mary, Queen of Scots, and his servant, was suffocated in 1567 after the building had been blown up using gunpowder. Darnley was buried in the church of Holyrood Abbey. Some stories have his ghost haunting the area. That's all we have. I think of course it's going to be again, it will be disappointing to tell a story and then go, but there's no ghost. But of course there's going to be a ghost. And if my friend Faye is watching tonight, she won't be, but she's the one who got me into wasabi snacks from our visits to the Chinese supermarket at Easton opposite IKEA. But having since discovered that Lidl do these Rivercoat wasabi mix, oh my goodness me. I dread to think how many calories are in a packet. One 30-gram serving contains 139 calories. So how many grams are there? So 150 grams. So 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay. I think I am in a deficit here. I don't think I'm in the red line. So we're up to 56 minutes. Cheers, me beers. Oh, it might be a 3 bumper tonight. Slange. It will be a 3 bumper tonight. So Kirkconnell Hall. Little remains of an ancient tower house here, a property of the Irvines, who came here from Kirkconnell near Spring Kell in 1609, which is almost 10 minutes past 4. By the old ruin is Kirkconnell Hall, an attractive mansion dating from 1870, standing in more than 4 acres of gardens. The hall was a property of the Arnott family, one of whom was physician to Napoleon Bonaparte. But it is now used as a hotel. The building is said in some stories to be haunted, and there are tales of an apparition being seen known as the Har Ghost, and this is reputed to be a noisy bogle. The tale goes that the ghost was especially active when one of the Arnott family was near death. Hotel telephone number, website. Goodness me, we are ending on some corkers tonight, but we need to get the beer and the bump out of the way. So cheers, me beers. Oh, lovely. Slange. Kirkdale Bridge. One story tells how a gypsy murdered a young lady near Kirkdale Bridge, and that afterwards her ghost, in a white dress, was repeatedly seen around midnight with half of her head missing. The bogle, it was said, would wander along the road for some way before disappearing at a track to Kirkdale Bank. Oh, that's it. The beer burps again. Do apologise, folks. That's the end of that story. I think we'll have some more wasabi mix. We're up to 15. Well, here we go. 59 minutes. The hour mark. There we go. God bless you. Strange. I think it will be a 3 bumper tonight. So cheers, my beers. We're going to have some more of the Western Gold. And then we'll probably do 2 more stories. And then that'll be it. We need to have some food and watch some Family Guy. Not in that order. So, Kirkton Jeans Hotel. Kirk Oswald. Kirkton Jeans Hotel stood on the main road of Kirk Oswald and was an old coaching inn dating from 1792 before it was closed. The establishment was originally called the Star Inn, but was renamed after Jean Kennedy, Kirkton Jean, who is one of the characters in Burns' famous poem Tam O'Shanter. Her house was incorporated into the inn and was used as the restaurant. The building is being renovated as part of a larger development of a hotel, whisky shop and museum. The village is associated with several other of Burns' contemporaries, and Sutar Johnny's cottage in the village is open to the public. The inn was said to be haunted, although reported manifestations were limited to a door in the loft of the restaurant, repeatedly opening and closing by itself. I wonder who Sutar Johnny is. We're going to look that up. Sutar, let's just try it. Sutar Johnny. Sutar Johnny, John Davidson, 1728 to 1806, was a Scottish shoemaker, suitor in Kirkoswald, Ayrshire, immortalised as Tam O'Shanter's trusty Douthie crony in Robert Burns' famous poem. A real-life friend of Burns, Davidson's 18th century thatched cottage is now a National Trust for Scotland site, featuring artifacts, sculptures, and a workshop. There we go. Every day's a school day, folks. 1 hour and 3 minutes. So I think we're on to the last couple for tonight. So Nippock Hotel, located in a fine position overlooking Lake Foken. The Nippock Hotel is a long, extended building, aren't they all, ladies, which stands on the site of an older house. Nippock was a property of the Campbells and was the scene of the murder of John Campbell of Cawdor in 1592. Campbell was shot by a musket as he sat by the fire. The murder was part of an argument in the Campbell clan over who had control over the young Earl of Argyll. The murderer, Patrick Og McKellar, was later captured and hanged. Campbell's ghost was said at one time to haunt Nippock. Hotel, telephone number, website. Right, I think we're on to the last deux for tonight because we desperately need some food. So cheers, me beers. Oh, lovely. Slange. Slanger, perhaps another two. Knock Castle. In a fine spot with great views, Knock Castle is a small and ruinous tower house with turrets and shot holes. The property was held by the Gordons during a feud with their rivals, the Forbeses, which came to its conclusion in the 1590s. Henry Gordon, second of Knock, was slain in a raid, while the 7 sons of Alistair, the next laird, when out cutting peats on Forbes lands, were surprised, seized, and summarily beheaded by Alexander Forbes of Strathginrock. Strathgirnock. We'll get there in the end. To make things even more worse, their severed heads were tied to their peat spades. All this after another son of Alexander Gordon had already been slayed All this after another son of Alexander Gordon had already been slain after he had fallen in love with Forbes's daughter. When the news reached Knock and their father heard of their terrible deaths, he was so shocked that he fell down the turnpike stair of his own tower, broke his neck, and was also slain. Alexander Forbes of Strathgirnock was summarily executed for the deed in his own house by Alexander Gordon of Abergeldy, who fell upon the house at Strathgirnock and slaughtered all those involved. The tower is said to be haunted by the unhappy bogle of Alexander Gordon of Knock. And there's nothing more to say about that. No, nope, that's it. Right. Last one for tonight, folks. Cheers, me beers. And we're going to have some raw wasabi mix. Last one for tonight. Knockderry Castle, perched at the edge of a rocky outcrop. Perched on the edge of a rocky outcrop. Knockderry Castle, a mansion of 1855, which is 5 minutes to 7, which was enlarged in 1896 by the architect William Leeper, is said to have been built on the basement of a small castle or watchtower dating from the Norse occupation of the area in the 13th century. The house is said to be haunted by ghosts associated with the dungeon of the castle. That's it. Slange, everybody. Oh, lovely. Oh my goodness me. Oh my goodness me. We are going downstairs now to prep some supper and watch some Family Guy. Fingers crossed. We will be back on Friday for, brace yourselves, Sunday Night Ghost Stories Extra on a Friday. Until then, it behoves me to say thank you for watching. Why? Why not? What else are you going to do on a Wednesday night? What are we today? Wednesday, the 18th of March. Goodness me, already halfway through March. What else are you going to do than watch a middle-aged man from Dudley drink ghost stories and read alcohol? Come on, folks, you can do better. Of course you can do better. I can't. I've limited imagination. But until the next time, as ever, it behoves me. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay out of trouble, and please don't have nightmares. Good night.